Well, good morning, everyone. It's very early. It's 4:30 in the morning. I'm up and fixing to start my day. I've actually been up for a minute. I've gotten woken up and fixing to make some coffee. I'm an early riser, but as you can see, I'm not in the woods no more. I'm not sleeping with the squirrels this night. I stayed in town because I got some stuff I gotta do. I'm currently at I don't know what you call this. It's not really a truck stop, but it's bigger than a typical gas station. It has a restaurant here and come on, brain, focus. It's just a big place. I guess you could say it's a truck stop. Has a restaurant. Obviously trucks park here. But that don't matter. Why am I stuck on that? I can't get off that. I'm staying in town because, well, actually I got here last night. This is the time of the month where I resupply, I get groceries, fill the old van up with gas. Normally I would get diesel fuel for the diesel heater, but I've got 1 gallon left, and that's going to last me a while because our temperatures are going up. Like, I didn't even use the heater last night. It's 48 degrees right now. It rained all night, so it's a little damp feeling, and it's got a little chill, but it's perfect for me. Sleeping weather, perfect temperature. Trying not to get off on a rant. I don't know how, I just can't control myself sometimes. But anyway, today's goal is I'm going to do a little maintenance to the van, which, I changed the oil last weekend, I think it was. I don't even remember. A few days ago. And now I'm going to go into town this morning. Well, it'll be a couple hours. I got to wait for the parts store to open, but I'm going to get a new air filter. I think I'm going to go ahead and change the spark plugs. I'm just going to do, it's been a while, so I'm going to do a little, not really a tune-up, just freshening it up a little bit. And then I got to go to Walmart, my nemesis. I can't stand that place, but I forgot to get a few things yesterday, so I'm going to swing by there, pick up a few more things. I got to get me some new wiper blades, and I would buy them at the parts store, but they're ridiculously priced. I looked at them, they're like $27 at the parts store, and I can get them at Walmart for $18. So I'm gonna go ahead and swing by and pick them up there at Walmart. And then it's supposed to be sunny and pretty today, so we're just gonna hang out in town, go to the river maybe, and check out the city front. And I'm just gonna try and stay in town this weekend. I've been hiding in the woods for a month now. I'm just going to hang out in town. Some of you won't realize what a big deal that is for me, but that's huge. It's kind of difficult for me to do. Not going to town, not being around people, but staying here all weekend. All the noise and the racket and commotion and people pushing and shoving and going to where I don't really do good in them situations. But every now and then I just like to throw myself in the fire, so to speak, and you can't hide in the woods forever. You lose your mind if you do that. But anyway, this has turned into a big rant. Let me pause this, go on about my business this morning, and then we head to, we're actually on the edge of town. Town is about 6 miles that away, but I'm talking about like where all the stores and everything is. In a couple hours, when everything starts opening up, we'll head that way. Alright, the sun's up, as you can see. I'm awake and motivated. We're going to head into town. I think first, like I said, I'm going to stop at Walmart, grab a few items, get some gas from a cook stove, I'm going to grab the wipers, and I think that was it. I always forget, don't write nothing down. I think that was it. And then we'll run over to the parts store and get other things for this van here. On a side note, I got stopped yesterday. When I stopped, I was getting gas, and someone come up and approached me and asked me if I did roof repairs. They was needing the roof worked on, and the main reason was because this van and the way I let it look, I got the front looking like a work van. That's what I want. It worked that time. They want me to fix a roof. I'm like, I'm not your guy, pal. I'm too old for that. Anyway, let's go to town. All right, I stopped and picked up a new air filter. We're gonna install it real quick. Well, it won't be real quick because this old style van, this thing was made in the 80s. They gotta make everything difficult. But anyway, we're gonna get that changed. I stopped and picked up 2 new wiper blades. I don't know if I'm gonna install them yet because I'm converting. That's my wiper blade. This is the old style where you can replace just the rubber, and they're almost impossible to find that. So I bought me some brackets, modified them a little bit. Don't know if it's going to work. It's going to fit these. I know that for a fact because they're actually made for these. I just don't know if the other side of it's going to fit this, but I'm pretty sure we can make it happen. Just in case, I'm going to do the passenger side first in case I break something. What was that guy? I forget. This van is unique, and it gets looks everywhere I go. People break their neck looking at it, and I forget about that. But that guy going by was eyeballing me, and I don't do well when people eyeball me. I mean, if you're staring me down, I get defensive on that, and I forget 99% of the time people are not doing that. They're looking at the van. And calm down, Wayne. Just calm down. Anywho, I'm already rambling and yapping. Let's get out and get this air filter in, and then later on today I'm gonna go over to the river and hang out, probably make me something to eat. It was sunny when I got up. Now look at the sky. Come on, man. Come on, ain't that what Biden says? Come on, man. Anyway, I'm acting goofy. So that's the plan. I'm gonna get out right now, put this air filter in. Later on today, I'm gonna go to Lowe's, park in their Walmart, or not Walmart. Go to Lowe's and park in the Lowe's parking lot. That way, if I need anything to make these work, I can just walk right in and get it. All right, that's the plan. Step one is I gotta take each one of these. These are actually screws. Take each one of these out and pull this cover off and get to the filter. So that's step one. Man, these things are tight. They only gotta be hand tight, but for some reason, I think it's because of the heat cycles, they get tighter. Goodness gracious. Come on out there, boy. There we go. All right. And I got a hack for you. If you got a newer vehicle and your alternator starts overcharging or not charging at all, first confirm your alternator is good and then do this. My voltage regulator is in the computer on this vehicle. A new computer costs $600. I've got 20 bucks invested in making my alternator charge. We'll get into that to another day though. First, let's get this cover off and change the air filter. All right, this is what we're changing right here. See how dirty and nasty that is? I know I've waited way too long. That'll actually make it run poorly. It'll make it use more gas. Yeah, it just creates havoc. So I've got the brand new one. Holy moly, look at the difference in them things. That's I know. I shouldn't have never let it get that bad. But anyway, super easy to put in. It just sits down in the hole there. Now yours will possibly be different. The concept is the same. You're gonna have some kind of cover you take off. More than likely you folks drive newer vehicles. I drive old junk. More than likely you're gonna have like anywhere from 3 to 6 snaps, little things, you pop them off, little metal tabs. It's gonna be some kind of lid. Every vehicle's a little different, so I don't know what it's gonna look like. But you're gonna have some kind of lid. More than likely, you're gonna have some snaps, you unsnap, pull the lid off, and you're gonna have a square, flat filter that's gonna be down in there. A lot of your foreign cars, your Hondas, Toyotas, Nissans, it's going to be a square box, and they're probably going to have screws, anywhere from 4 to 6. Take some screws out, take the top off, change the filter. Super easy, you can do it. So let me pause this, because I need 2 hands to get this cover in and out. It's a tight fit. So let me get it back together. I'll be back in a second. Okie dokie pokey, she's back together. Got the old filter in the box. Find a place to dispose of it. Yeah. Like, I think that's probably all I'm going to do today as far as under the hood. There's a chance of rain off and on. I just don't want to get some kind of big project out here and it start raining on me. Although there is one thing I want to do back here. And again, I might save that for a better weather day. This hose, I know you really can't see it. There's a fitting on the back side of this that it's supposed to slide up on. And this is plastic, and that little fitting has broken off, and I've kind of got that rigged. It's got to be there. I'm not going to try to explain it to you. It's pretty much pulls a vacuum right there. It pulls your crankcase pressure, regulates it. It pulls a vacuum, which draws that pressure out of the crankcase, reburns it, sends it back to the motor. It's a big deal. It's kind of important. It will run just fine without it, but it runs better with it. So I'm gonna work on that later on a day because that'll be about a 2-hour project. Easy to do, just I'm gonna have to kind of rebuild that piece, so to speak. But anywho, we got that part done. Like I said, later on today, I'll probably go to Lowe's, park in their parking lot, and do the wiper blades. That way, if I need any pieces or parts to make something, I can just walk right in and get it. So, yeah, let's close the hood, go down to the river, probably fix it something to eat, and walk around. We'll do something. I'll be back in a minute. I had my mic on because it was windy, and only just now in editing I realized the battery was dead, that it wasn't working. But pretty much here I was showing you the camper van, and these are all murals, however you say that, on this flood wall. And we was just walking down looking at them, and I was telling you right here, that's my favorite one. And it looks so realistic, like you can just walk right up there and get on one of them bikes. I pretty much just rambled on about each one of them. This one here is showing some of the neighborhoods. All these pictures are of real areas in this town. They're just portraying what they look like back in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. That street right there I was showing you, I think I was saying, oh, look how cool it is. Look like you can walk down the street. All them buildings, I think I turn around here in a minute, show you. All these buildings are still standing. That street's still there. Yeah, here I go. You can't really see it good, but all them buildings right there is what you're looking at right here in that picture. And I was probably rambling on about something there. I'm pretty good at that. We'll see that brick street, what's left of the brick street here in a minute. It's a pretty neat picture. This one here, it shows, this flood wall didn't used to be here like in the 30s and 40s. I'm telling you this street right here is what you're seeing in that picture. That's when the river flooded the town. And it shows different areas, different time periods. I think that this town is flooded 4 times, I think it is, 4 major times before a flood wall was built. Well, move on, son. Quit looking at it. But yeah, I think that's pretty much what I was doing right here, telling you, you know, what you're seeing in that picture is what, all these pictures are based on downtown, which is still there today. This is a strawberry farm that's owned by a local family. It's been here for years, talking like 100 years, 70 or 80, somewhere in that area. Here is a picture of a huge steam engine, which is still in existence today because it's only sitting about a block away. And I get so fascinated by trains. I think I rambled on non-stop without taking a breath about this train because I just love the massive steel trains. If you ever get a chance, you see one at a park or a town or something, just go over there and look at it. It's an amazing piece of engineering. This is the actual river, Ohio River. Oh, it's a gloomy old. It's supposed to have been pretty. Then they're saying it's going to rain, and Looks, and it hasn't rained yet, but it does later on. That's really a good place to hang out and eat a lunch if you're ever in this area. This picture here is, I don't really know. I should have read the information on it. It's of the area. I think it's one of our governors, I believe, in the governor's mansion. This is showing an old, now, this building here is gone. It's the old fire station. It burned down years ago, like in the 60s or something like that. It's gone now. This one here is, man, I should have showed it to you. That building's still there. That picture is representing 1938, I think it is. That building was right behind me. I don't know why I didn't turn around and show it to you. It's still standing, still being used today. This is another one. It's pretty much showing a church and the preacher of years ago of this church. He was really predominant in this town, and that's what this one here is pretty much dedicated to. And I think I might have mentioned, yeah, I was telling you that the church is behind me. It's behind all these buildings. You can't really see it from this location. But anywho, this next one, I don't remember what that one's about. I should have read it. I don't never read the information plaques. This one here, I'm telling you that it's showing the Ohio River that we just saw with two islands. Them islands are still there. Actually, the small island you're seeing on the left is gone, but that large one on the right, it's still there. I'll show it to you a little bit later on, I think. Actually, it takes me 2 tries because there's some children, a family, and some children there on the river, and I try not to record children. This one here is showing all the major churches right here in downtown on Broadway. I think 2 are Catholic and 2 are Methodist and a Baptist. I may have that wrong, but they're right there behind me. You can't really see them. They're about 4 blocks over, but they're right behind me. This is just showing some of the old flatboats used to come down the Ohio River, do trading with the Native Americans here, you know, obviously years ago. I don't really know where this one's supposed to be. I think that's representing when Lewis Clark was showing up. This is where I walked through to show you that island, and I noticed the kids over there, so it's real quick. But if you look to the right, see the island up there? The small island's gone, but the big one's still there. And I'm still rambling on about pictures. I've seen these things several times, so they just fascinate me. I really enjoy looking at them. I'm not sure. Most of these are just showing boats and line boats and stuff on the river. That's what this town's really built off of. That river has made this town what it is, just like any river town. This one is just, I don't know where this area actually is. I'm thinking it's right over there. That's what I'm saying when I turn around. I think it's right over there, but I'm not 100% sure if that is. Because not all these buildings are showing, about 60% of them are still standing and still being used. Some of them are gone. Flood damage. I think 1 or 2, like the fire station, burned down. And yeah, there's a few of them gone. That is a lock and dam that's up the Ohio River, a few miles. And that's showing that island again. Kind of. It's a different angle of it, but that's the island over there. And this is just like river activity, you know, showing modern day boats, line boats and stuff.
It's pretty neat.
This is representing the shipyard. It's just maybe a quarter mile down the road. That's a dry dock with a line boat on it, showing some guy working on there. And that's the front view of a line boat. A lot of people call them tugs. They're line boats. This is some old, I think that's the Mississippi Queen, Delta Queen, some old steam engines. That's the inside view. That's the wheelhouse of a line boat pushing barges down the river. I used to work on these. That's actually pretty much what it looks like. And this is just more random pictures of activity in the town. I think I go through the flood wall here again and try to show you that island because I'm past some children, you know, that family. You can't get a good view of it from here because there's trees and stuff in the way. But if you look behind them trees, that's that island you was looking at in that picture. That's pretty much what I'm saying there. Hey, look, there's the island. because I'm a big old dummy like that. I'm my worst critic. I really criticize myself a lot, but I do it in humor. I do it in fun. I'm pretty easygoing, laid back. Nothing really bothers me, except for people eyeballing me. I can't stand that. There's that big steam engine. I think I'm talking about it right here or something. There, I almost walked out in front of a car. I told him to go on. He told me to go on. I'm like, no, you go on. He's like, you go on. So I finally took off walking. This is just more, these pictures here are just more about the city, talking about different events in the city, growth and all that. They're pretty interesting, but it's, it's just different timeline, I guess you could say. And here I'm just ranting about how I love history and this train. I just become a kid when I get beside this train. This thing is massive. And I'll show you that here in a minute. Here I'm just talking about how big it is and how I'm just amazed. And I'll eventually go over and stand beside it so you can see the actual scale, the size of this thing. It is huge. I mean, these was the monsters of time that used to run the rails years ago. That's me standing. I'm not even as tall as one of the wheels on it. That's the boiler above my head, but this thing is massive. Can you imagine seeing that thing thundering down the rails? I mean, I know the locomotives we have today are big, but they're just not, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. I just fall in love with these things when I see them. I'm pretty much just still rambling about history and the train and all that stuff. And here's, these next few pictures are going to be, this is all based on train and the history of the railroad. So all these lines you're seeing on the wall now is the old Illinois Paducah rail line, and it's showing the main line and all the spurs coming off of it. And it, according to this, it started in Lake Michigan. I didn't know the Illinois, the IP they used to call the Illinois Paducah line used to go that far, but according to this, it did. So I'm sure they know more about it than me. But anyway, that's what I'm talking about here. Just, railroad stuff. I get really caught up in it. I love trains and railroads. Probably going to end up riding a train one day. I don't know exactly when, but that's next on my bucket list. I want to hop a train for a few months, freight trains, ride around. Don't know exactly when I'll do it, but it is on my bucket list. But I'm pretty much still just rambling on like I always do. Pretty much like I'm doing right now. I think here I'm talking about history in general, how I'm really fascinated with history. Pretty much what I said was, it don't matter if it's an old homestead in the woods or if it's an old train, an old car, just a trash pile in the woods. It's all history. It all tells a story, and that's what I love about it. That's the reason I like finding old bottle dumps, these old homesteads, because it kind of gives you a view of what the people who lived there used to be like. And it kind of tells a story, so to speak. And every old piece of equipment or an old house or old brick lined streets or whatever, they all tell a story. People just say, oh, that's history, but they don't really stop and think what that means. It's a small window into the past, pretty much. You can kind of look back and see what it used to be like. And I'm really fascinated by that. But pretty much, I just keep rambling here, so, like I always do. So I'm just going to go ahead and let this run out because, I'm not really saying much. I'm just showing the pictures and kind of giving my thought on it. All right, now we're on Broadway. I'm going to apologize. My microwave. Don't listen to you. What's wrong with you? Microphone died, and I didn't realize it. But most of them buildings we were seeing over there is these buildings right here. Candy bar has moved to Broadway. It's pretty interesting. And the old theater, I know you couldn't hear me. is, you know, I was down there. I see it now. It's pretty neat. Now, some of them pictures I showed you, they had churches in it. There's a steeple right in the center screen of one of them. Yeah, pretty neat. All right, I'm gonna head back to the house because I'm hungry. No, actually, there's something I want to show you down here. I'm gonna take you down there to it. It's cold, man. The sun went in. You see, it's gloomy and cloudy again. That wind come off that river. It's cold. But they're doing a lot of work down here, fixing this area up. Some of it you can't get to. I'm gonna go right over here to something I want to show you. It's pretty neat. We'll check it out, and then we'll go back to the house. Right, I come over here to check out these statues. There's actually quite a few all around this town, but this is my favorite here. But in that silent part where my microphone quit working, do you remember seeing the churches? I'm not gonna walk all the way over there, but there's the top of one right there, that funny shaped building. Hold it still, good grief. There's the steeple of the other one. I'm not gonna walk all the way down there right now. But I come to see this. I really like this. It's Lewis and Clark, and I'm just gonna hold it and you can pause it if you want to read it. It just tells about Lewis and Clark. Excuse me. But there's a guy and a dog. You know who he is. There's the other guy. You should know who it is. And I really actually don't know who them supposed to be. No, it don't say it. It says the Native Americans portrayed here. I don't know. I thought maybe it's someone famous, but it don't name them if it does. Anyway, you know who that is. The dog makes him famous. You should know who that is. But I'm gonna get back over to the house because I didn't put no jacket on and I'm cold. I'll see you. There's been a little change of plans. Don't worry about my dirty old aluminum wall. I want it to look like that. But been a little change of plans. I was gonna stay here. Not stay here, but I was gonna stay here for a little bit and cook me something to eat and hang out. But it looks like the weather's deteriorating. When we got up, it was sunny and pretty and nice, and I thought, oh, I'll go hang out by the river. I bet a sneeze coming. But now it's cloudy and gloomy, and it's starting to mist to rain. And there was calling for rain today. But with me waking up seeing the sun and the sky clear, I thought, oh, it's, you know, they got it wrong. It's going to be a beautiful day. But evidently they had got it right. So I think what I'm going to do, I know another spot, a little park here in town I'm going to head over to, hang out there for a while, and cook something to eat. Yeah, I believe that's the plan. I'm going to go over there, and I'm kind of hanging around here in town. More than likely tonight or tomorrow morning, I'm going to head back to the National Forest, because that's just where I like to be. I'm not comfortable in a big city. Well, this ain't technically a big city. I mean, well, it's pretty large, and I guess it is a city. So, but it's not my cup of tea, man. Too many people. Everybody's in a rush. Everybody's pushing and shoving and flying them down the road, and I don't do well in environments like that. Yeah, I like it slow paced. I like being out there with the squirrels barking at me and seeing deer and you know, mellow, slow pace. I've had such a hectic life that, yeah, I just want to slow down and enjoy life. I don't want to be in a big hurry and run around and act like a chicken with no head. We made it to the park. I was going to show it to you coming in. I completely forgot, which we're going to be here. but it'd been a lot easier to have recorded it when I came in. It's a huge park, and I don't know, you know, I don't think about things like that. I just live in the moment. I'll tell you what, we're in no hurry. We'll just make another lap around. You have to excuse my noisy old van. She rattles and squeaks and creaks and makes all kinds of noise. So, all right, we're getting kind of back to the front side. Got a lot of trees, of course. Some kids' playground area. There's a big, well, they call it a lake. It's really just a little pond, but right in the center. We'll walk over there and check it out because I like seeing the geese and the gooses and the ducks. I like seeing all them. But anyway, you'll come in right over there to your right. Like I said, as soon as you come in, you got playground area. You can kind of see the little pond or lake, they call it. Over there, if you can see, they got tennis courts and I think there's some basketball courts over there. I can't remember. I never really go to that section, but we're going to drive by there. This is where you exit, and then on the other side, that stone gate thing is where you enter. Pretty nice park. And I know what you're saying. Well, what's the name of it? Well, I don't really want to say because it gives away my location. And if people didn't act so crazy and silly, I wouldn't have to worry about that. But unfortunately, they do. So, and I know a lot of you is going to figure this out, and that's okay, because I don't stay here. I stay a long ways away from here, but this is close enough I can drive to this town. So the joke's on you. Nah, I'm just messing with you guys. Yep, seriously, I just can't give away my location because there's too many crazy people. But anyway, this is kind of the center of the park. Again, there's that pond. They call it a lake. It's really just a big pond. I'm gonna find a place to park. There's a lot of playground kids area over there. I'm not gonna park by that. That's just creepy. You know, creepy guy in a van by the playground. I don't want to be that guy. There's a car right over there. If you see that car right there, that's a YouTube channel called Let's Exchange IDs. That's Travis. I'm not gonna go bother him because, can you see that car over there? I'm not gonna go bother him because, you know, I know how it is. You want your privacy. This is our, you know, this is our home. This is kind of where we live. So, hang on here. We got somebody coming the wrong direction. This is a one-way. Let me pause this because they're going to try to come out. Selfish. This is really not like cities. People like that just flying down the one way just so they can get in that parking lot right there. I don't understand people. Cities stress me out. I mean, I know a lot of you are not going to understand that because you live in a city, you're used to it, the hustle and bustle. I'm just not used to it, and I got other reasons why I don't like it. Not gonna get into all that. Some of you know, some of you may not, but yeah, it just rattles my nerves and gets me all tore up. And anyway, we're not gonna dwell on that. There's the lake / pond. Pretty cool. All right, I'm gonna pause this because I know a good area I want to go to get away from all the hustle and bustle, and I'll bring you back when we get over there. All right, I was going to stay way over there on the other side, way over there. There's only 2 spots, and it's usually nobody goes over there because it's so far from the little pond / lake thing, and I don't know. I guess today was a popular day because each spot's big enough for 1 car, and there was 3 crammed in both spots, so 6 cars over there. I didn't see nobody around, like having a picnic or whatever, so they must be out walking. But anyway, that's a long way of saying them spots were taken. So I come back over to the right side, the far side, the little pond / lake things right there in the middle. We're going to get out and walk over and look at that. And then I'm coming back in the house and fixing me something to eat because I'm hungry, I'm starving. All right, let me pause this and get out and get over there to the pond. We'll look at the ducks and the geese. All right, we're walking up to the pond slash lake. They got a little musical area for kids, like little random things you can beat on, and they make musical sounds. I think it's pretty cool. I played with it myself one time. I've been to this park before, been here a bunch of times. Like I always say, some of my old subscribers will recognize this place. Some of the new ones, not so much. But they got a, I guess you call it a house, I don't know, a place for the geese right there. You can see some of the geese hanging around. And on the far side, some ducks. Little white dots there are ducks. They live out here with the geese. We're gonna walk down here and look at the geese. I can't say geese in plural. Goose. Oh wait a minute, geese is plural, ain't it? Goose and geese. I'm so disappointed in myself. Idiot. Anyway, we're not gonna let that run our day. Oh, they seen me coming. Come on, geese. You gotta watch where you step in this park, because the geese, they mark their territory. There they are. Let me pause this. I want to get a picture of it. All right, I got my pictures. We're going to head over here on this bridge. Try not to disturb the goose. Geese, goose, birds. I'm trying not to disturb the birds. That one's, oh, his wings are funny looking. Probably just some feathers sticking out. Hey, little fella. See how it's got some wings sticking out? Anyway, geese, or as Patricia says, big ducks. Yes, I seen in one of your videos where you was by the river, or yeah, you was by a river, and there was geese swimming around. You called them big ducks. I guess in a way they are big ducks. Oh, big splash behind me. I didn't know what it was. There is fish in this pond. Well, I don't know how many, but I see people fishing in it all the time. You're allowed to fish here. Hurts your mouth. Anyway, this is pretty much it. Oh, there's Travis again. See that great car right there? That's Travis from the YouTube channel. Let's exchange IDs. But again, I'm not going to go over and bother him. Like I said earlier, he travels in his car, he lives in his car, and I understand how it is. You just want your privacy sometimes. But this is where I'm going to stay. Not all day. I'm going to stay here a couple hours because I'm going to cook me something to eat. And just relax, decompress. I stayed in town, well, at the edge of town, but I stayed close enough last night that it was just noisy. There's traffic and beating and banging and car stereos blasting and people slamming doors. And I know it's common that some of you folks that live in town or in a city, it's just every day for you. But for me, it just, I can't do it. I can't do it. But anyway, that's the plan. I'm gonna go back to the house, cook some meat, hang out and relax, stare out my window, and do a little people watching, because I do enjoy watching people. I know it's probably seems weird, but I just like watching people go about their daily activities, and I don't know, you can learn a lot about somebody just by watching their everyday routines, what they do, and stuff like that. Okay, I'm starting to ramble. I'm gonna shut her down and go back to the house. I'll see you here in a little bit. Well, I did it again, folks. I was sitting here, and the sun popped out, and it got warm and cozy, and I was staring at my wipers, and I said, well, might as well go ahead and change them. Good time to do it. So I did. I put the new wipers on, and I had to customize them. You'll see right there, see how they hook up? It's this van's old, so they don't use the traditional nothing really. So I did a little customizing, but I got it on there and it's working. And I turned them on, tested them out. I believe they're gonna be all right. So I'm sorry I didn't show you. It's just it's a habit I got. I'll something will pop in my mind, project, and I'll just jump into it and get it done. But I got another project I want to work on. You see, I got my electrical stuff out. I'm going to try to show you this one. I need to work on a light. I temporarily put a light up in the back there in the living quarters to, well, hang on. Every time I got sneeze. I temporarily put a light in the back. I think I showed y'all one time. I took the interior light. When I first put this together, there's an interior light right here that you hit a button and turn on, factory deal. Never used it. Never used it. So I thought, instead of buying a light for the back, I'll just take this down and move it back there, which I did. Worked out great. But as a temporary solution, because again, it was one of them deals, do it on the fly type things. Idea popped in my head and I jumped into it and did it. Well, I just, underneath my counter, my kitchen counter, man, my hands got black. Where was I going? Oh yeah, underneath my kitchen counter, I put a USB, one of them cigarette plugs with USB type deals mounted underneath there with a, so I have power down there for whatever reasons. And I'm still at the park, watching people, if you're wondering why I'm staring in space. But yeah, so what I did when I put the light back there, I'm, as you know, I've told you I'm a pack rat. I don't throw nothing away. Well, I had some kind of, I don't remember what it was, a fan or something, but it had the cigarette type plug on the end of it. So I cut the cord off that, run some wires to that light, and I just for a quick fix, that's what I did. I'll show you when we get back there. I just take that light and plug it into that cigarette lighter deal. Well, that was like a year ago. My idea was to do that just for a quick fix, that because I was doing that project at nighttime. So that was just going to be a quick fix, and then I was going to come back, put a switch, and make it all fancy. And well, I never got around to it. I'm the kind of guy, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Yes, it's a little bit inconvenient with that big long strand of wire, but it worked, so I never did mess with it again. Well, now it's starting to get on my nerves. So I got my stuff out. Since I'm in a project kind of mood, I'm going to try to put that light on the actual switch. Now, I just noticed when I was gathering up all my supplies, I noticed one problem I have. I'm going to need to drill a hole or something, and my battery's dead for my drill. So yeah, I'm gonna get back there and look at the situation and see what I actually got to do before I get, shut this project down. I could probably still go ahead and complete it, but I'm gonna get back there and look and see if I'm gonna have to drill any holes or if I can get around it somehow. And then I got an idea in my head. And again, another quick fix. But what I'm wanting to put that light on a switch. I think I might have just said that. But worst case scenario, I can go ahead and do that. And maybe get some like two-sided tape or something and stick it to the wall for the time being until I can drill a hole. I don't know. I'm just going to go back there and look and see what I got going on. And then assess the situation and go from there. But I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, here's what I got going on. This is that temporary light I put up with this long cable. And what I would do, I just let it hang down and I would plug it in there. But, it's just here flopping around in my way. So I think what I'm going to do, in my junk closet, I've got power right here. And never mind the mess. Quit concentrating on the mess. Pay attention to the switch. I got power right here, so I think I'm gonna run. Yes, that's my metal detector. I'm a big metal detector hobbyist kind of guy. I love doing that. That's my Mind Lab. Man, I got to clean this thing. I got so much junk in here. Hang on, folks. I gotta get some of this out of the way. 540. I just remembered as soon as I was getting it out. my Mind Lab 540 Vanquish metal detector. I'm really into that big time. Holy cow, look at all this junk I got in here. I got all kinds of cords in here. I can't help it, guys. I'm a pack rat, hoarder, whatever you want to call it. I've told you this. I'm dealing with it best I can. So right here, I got some power. Again, this is another temporary fix. I'm bad about it. I always get around to fixing them right. It's just, I've let my list get so big, I got too much stuff to do. This actually goes to my fan. This fan has a parasitic draw. That meaning, even though it's not on, it still draws a little bit of power. So I put this switch on here where I can kill the power to it when I'm not using it. Even if it's not turned on, even if you don't have it spinning, it still pulls just a little bit of power just to say, hey, I'm here. And anything I can do to save my batteries, especially on days like today when it's cloudy and not getting solar, is a big help. This is actually just a switch for a house that you turn a light on and off with. I went to Lowe's and got it. Again, just a quick temporary fix, so I just never got around to doing it right. But the point is, I can tie into this, so I can bring my other temporary fix, probably mount it up here somehow. I don't know, but jump inside with it and come down and tie into that. And I got the perfect amount of wire. I don't even have to cut no new wire or nothing. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. Let me start working on that. Temporary fix is temporary fix, and then I'll bring you back when I get it done. Okay, I took my drill, drilled a hole. I got the switch in there, but took my drill, drilled 2 holes to get roughly I didn't have my jigsaw. I don't have it with me. So just so you understand, I drilled 2 holes, then took my little pocket knife and squared it out to get that switch in there. So now I got it in there. All I need to do is get my wire from the light ran over here and get it wired together. So let me do that and I'll be right back. All right, I got my ground wire spliced in. That's gonna go up here to the switch. This is hard to do and hold a camera in this tight space, but I'm gonna try to show you on the hot one how I did it. Now this, I'm gonna be honest with you, this is not the correct way, but you would definitely never want to do this in a house. But this is just 12 volt, so yeah, it'll be fine. I didn't want to splice it and put a bunch of these connectors in there, and it's just the reason why I don't want to do it. But I'm going to show you how, try to show you one-handed how I did it. So first thing you need is a lighter, and what you're going to do, which I'll do it off camera, but you're going to light it, and you're going to melt that coating off. So let me do that, and then I'll bring you back. All right, as you can see, I took the lighter, melted that rubber coating off the wire. The next thing you want to do, you want to separate the strand into 2. So let me get that done. I'll be back. All right, see how I took that one strand and spread it open and made it into 2, or made a hole in the center? That's because we're going to run a wire through there. And again, let me stress, this is something you'd never ever want to do in a house with like 110 volt, 100. Well, actually, it should be 120, between 120 and 125. But anyway, it's a whole different story. You never, ever, 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 ever want to do this in a house. It's very dangerous. But on a 12 volt system, it ain't going to hurt a thing. And this is just actually this is better contact point than these little fittings you squeeze on there. In order to use the fittings, I would have to splice these wires, put a jumper wire with 2 crimps, and then on one end crimp my extra wire on like this one, run it up to switch. I just didn't want to do all that. I'm doing it the easy way. It's 12 volt, it's safe, you can do it. So let me cut me a piece of wire to jump up to the switch, and then we'll come back and I'll show you what I did. Okay, I made my jumper wire. I went ahead and crimped my little fitting on the end to go up to the switch. The end that you're going to splice into another wire with, remember, I'm going to stress this again, do not do this in a house with 110 volt. Do not do this. This is 12 volt. So it's safe. It's no harm done, but don't do it in a house. But on the end, you're going to splice in, strip it really long, really far, because you're going to stick it through this hole and then you're going to just wrap it around. So let me pause this and get that done, then I'll show it to you. So after you stuck it through the hole, after you stick it through the hole, you kind of squeeze that hole up a little bit, and then that tail or the excess, you just twist it around real tight, and you got a great connection there. So I'm gonna get some black tape and tape it up real good. Now, they make a liquid tape. It's black, like gooey substance you put on and it dries. It works, but I really don't trust that stuff, because over time as it dries out, it starts to crack and peel away. Just get you some good black tape and wrap it up. All right, I got it taped up real good. Ideally, this little jumper wire should have been red because it's coming off a red positive wire, but I didn't have any. And this is going to stay hooked up all the time, so it don't matter. But you take your red positive, a little jumper you just made, and you take it up here to your switch. Slide it on there. Take the ground wire, little jumper I made with this, and you put it on the ground side of the switch. Oops, sorry. Wasn't paying attention to the camera. Slip it on there. We should have power to the switch now. Now, the whole reason for doing this, I don't know if I mentioned it, this is that hot and ground wire coming live off my system to the switch. I told you I added for my fan, which I may go ahead and go to Lowe's and get a new switch and fix that right today. But anyway, that's what that is. That's a hot and ground live wire going to that switch I made for the fan. I'm just jumping off of it for a switch I'm installing for the light. Now this switch has a light on it, so if I did this right, that light should come on. Wait a minute. Lighting don't come on? Oh, I bet I put it on the wrong side. Man. Wait a minute. Let me think about this. What did I do wrong? Give me just a second. All right, I got it figured out. They got it labeled wrong. Well, I feel like it's labeled wrong. If you'll see right here, it says on your left side of the screen, 12 volt power in, goes on that plug. And 12 volt ground. .12 volt ground. See, it goes on the left side of the hot one you put in, like that. Well, the thing is, it's labeled upside down. It makes sense to me in my brain. I don't know how to explain it to you. Let's see here. That is your 12 volt power coming into the switch. That is your ground coming into the switch. Alright, then according to this on the bottom, you put your 12 volt going to your device, which is, for me, is going to be a light. Over here you put your ground going to your light. This is the top, this is the bottom. Well, that should have been labeled, this power in and ground in should have been labeled down here. As you see, I got it. Ground in, power in. Switch on, got a light. Switch off, power's off. So it's labeled upside down, no big deal. You know, it just took me a second. It threw me off, took me a second to figure that out, what was going on. And yeah, I don't know. It's just no cheap switch I picked up from Walmart. I've used these brand of electrical stuff before. They work good. Just the back is labeled wrong. And I guess if you turn the package like this, maybe, you know, then it would be labeled right. But if you do that, nobody's going to do that, because see how the writing's wrong? You know, the writing's upside down or sideways. You naturally want to read it like this, because the writing is up where you can read it. Well, that makes this the top of the switch. This is really the bottom of the switch. The switch installs like this, so that becomes the bottom. So I guess it's not really, now I'm thinking about it, it's not really labeled wrong. The picture is put on the package wrong. Because when you turn it to where you can read it, that makes you think that's the top of the switch. But anyway, I'm sitting there going too much into that. Let me get my light, the wires for my lights hooked up, and then we'll test it out. All right, I don't know if I showed you or not after just splicing it, but I got that wire all taped up. Got it hooked back here on the back of the switch. So when I flip the switch, this light should come on. Boom. Yes. And then when I turn it off, light goes off. All right, so now what we gotta do is clean this mess up, get all these wires bundled up, cleaned up, clean this up, and get the light mounted back up here. So let me work on that, and then guess what? I'll bring you back. Okay, I got everything cleaned up. I'm eventually gonna get around to painting this shelf. I'm gonna paint it. I'm redoing these gray, so I think I'm gonna paint this gray also. So we'll worry about that later. But I got everything cleaned up, and for right now, until I get some wire loom or something, I don't know what, I'll come up with something. I had this white duct tape, so I just covered that old wire with that. But let's give it a try. I'm gonna flip the switch. This light should come on, which means that light's on. That light's on. That light's on. Yes, I really like that. That's awesome. Okay, I'm gonna get all my tools picked up. Somebody's out here, hang on. People's really enjoying my van. They've been stopping beside me. I'm in a parking lot, so they've been parked over here beside me. They've been stopping right here looking at it. But let me get all my tools cleaned up, all my electrical stuff. Throw this in my hoarders pile. My little electrical box, get it put away. Drill bits. Let me get all this cleaned up, and we'll be back.